Hey there, YouTube. Jimmy with To the Top Crane. I don't know who all we got on here. Who all do we have on here right now? Says we got two waiting. Surely we get someone to comment. Hey, there's Josh Wellner. How you doing, Josh? I guess Josh is. Oh, there's three people watching. So I'm doing this live stream. I said my normally scheduled live stream. That would be next week. Mike Manfred, how are you doing, Mike? You made it to one of them. All right. Want to introduce my dad. This is my dad, Mark.
And how you doing?
We're going to get some feedback from you all today. Or try to get some feedback. We've only got two people commenting. We got 5 people watching, 2 people commenting. My parents own a catering business in our local area called Smoking Hogs Barbecue and Catering. And he's contemplating doing a YouTube channel. Hey, there's Paul. Oh, it probably is late in England. But Josh says hi.
How are you all doing? One of the things we're thinking about doing is starting a YouTube channel showing a how-to on barbecue and smoking, as well as other cooking. Do some baking, not for the business, but we do a lot of baking, like for our church and all too. A lot of the kids at our church are going to know me for till the day they die, as far as the guy that used to make the cinnamon rolls. But we kick out some pretty nice pie crust too, and homemade pies. But our business is predominantly smoked meat and sides, like homemade potato salad, homemade coleslaw, pit smoked beans, things like that. And a lot of the things that I've been reading on YouTube or looking at on YouTube is where they're showing how to cook stuff. And I'll tell you, I think I can do better than some of those guys on the YouTube channels. I will tell you though, as many smokers as are out there, that's how many recipes or processes there are to smoking meat. Everybody's got their way, and they think their way is the best.
With Dave.
What's that?
So we got to say hi to Dickard with Dave.
Hi, Dickard with Dave.
Dickard with Dave's in Canada. Cotton Top didn't come visit me. Did he come visit you, Dave? MSL logging. How are you doing, MSL? Sorry for cutting you off, Pops.
That's all right.
I got to take care of my fan base here, which I would. People are watching my stuff. MSL, how was vacation? I know one of those videos you threw up is a pretty nasty thunderstorm. Oh, no, not as my guest. My guest is my dad, Dave. This is my dad. I don't know if you see the similarities. My beard's just a little bit thicker, but.
Well, I tell you, a lot of people wonder what he's hiding underneath all that beard. Really, he's a fine-looking young man. If he had shaved that off, looks a lot like his old man.
Deb 2, new to channel. Hey, thanks for coming and checking out the channel. And thanks for subscribing, commenting, watching my content. Dicker with Dave. Oh, hi. Sorry, Dad.
Now, which one of you guys is it that's from Canada?
Dave. Dave's from Canada.
Okay. I was going to check and see. Are you anywhere near Winnipeg, Manitoba?
Let's see. He's north of Idaho somewhere.
I know up in Winnipeg, Manitoba, there's a Smoking Hog barbecue restaurant and catering service where our business is Smoking Hogs, plural. It's SMOKIN' HAWGS. And theirs is spelled the same way, only no S on the hogs. And I visited with him on the phone. He's really quite an interesting fellow. He's got a lot of ribbons, a lot of trophies from a lot of smoking he's done. We're going to go up into Winnipeg next spring and take a visit with him.
Let's see, Victor the Ripper, which state are you in? I'm in Missouri. I'm an hour north of Kansas City. I'll give you an idea how strong the union presence is. They just had a vote on right to work August 10th, I believe, or 8th. and it was voted down pretty much 2-1. So it's a pretty strong union area. Dickard says Winnipeg's about a 12-hour drive.
Oh, that's quite a ways off.
So Paul Woolner asked, he hasn't started his YouTube channel, and that's why I wanted to do this live stream. I'm gonna get a drink real quick. How do you guys think a channel like that would go over? I mean, is that something you guys would tune into? Something you'd watch? I mean, like you said, it's going to be smoking meat, baking, just about anything you can do in your kitchen and outside in a smoker. Is that something you guys would be interested in?
While we're waiting for the response, I see where you're tossing one out there for Allen Welding and Woodworking. We got our smoker from East Texas Smoker Company in Tyler, Texas, and they were just really, really great people to work with. You can find them on the internet. Well, we did. Jimmy's brother Brian lives down in Tyler. We went down there and visited with the family down there, and went over to East Texas Smoker Company and sat down with Clint down there, and we built the smoker on a computer. What kept going out to his fab shop, taking a look at the different options and what they look like in real life, and then built it on the computer. And 6 weeks later, we had our smoker.
And it's a big one. You're not going to put this thing on your back patio. It's 2 300-gallon tanks.
Yeah, it's 2 propane tanks. They're 250-gallon tanks on a tandem axle trailer with brakes. It's got couple of propane tanks on it that are used to light the logs with. People sometimes use pellets. My pellets come in, well, we cut them ourselves, and they're the firebox is 24 inches by 24 inches by 24 inches. We fill that firebox up with pellets that are 24-inch logs. So I burn a lot of trees every year, okay, but nothing comes in pellets.
Got to keep up on comments. Let's see. Victor K said someone should get a GoPro hat clip. Was that directed towards me or to the old man when he starts his channel? And then also MSL logging about, asked if anyone was going to Bunyan. I've had people asking me to go to Bunyan, and I don't know that I'm going to make the 12-hour drive over there for one day. I mean, it's 12 hours over, 12 hours back, and I'd be there for 12 hours roughly. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm still kicking it around. Let's see. Nerm said he would watch, just have to keep it moving and not drag on. Lots of folks spend too much time explaining the basics of cooking and skip over what you really need to know. So that's good input.
Yeah, I appreciate that input. Deb, what part of Texas are you in? See that you've got friends that own 3 barbecue chains down there in Texas.
MSL logging said he'd tune in. Victor the Ripper joined IUOE. Man, looks like might not be able to participate. The jobs are too far out with no per diem. Doesn't look good. It's going to take you probably a little longer than 3 years to get into the cranes if you just jumped in. I don't know. Victor, throw in comments where you're located. I don't know, what state you're in. Josh Wellner, not for me, but go for nothing venture, nothing gain. There's a lot of people. That's true. Josh Wellner would be a source for lobster if you wanted some.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Paul Wellner pops. What are you using for?
We use predominantly hickory. Every now and then in the wintertime, I'll throw some cherry wood in there in order to really keep the fire hot. Sometimes if I need to stretch out the fire a ways, make it last a lot longer, and keep the fire a little bit lower, I'll throw in smoke in behind it, especially if I've already got my meat panned up where I'm not trying to pull smoke into the meat any longer. Then I'll toss smoke in order to save my hickory.
Let's see. Okay, this is a comment that I've got to get to. This is Gary Johnson. He uses his wife's phone. Gary, how are you doing? And I'm not going to respond to any other comments and not being a jerk about it until I find out how Gary's doing, because Gary just had a heart attack not too long ago. He's got a couple stents put in. So I want to know, I legitimately want to know how Gary's getting along. So Gary should be commenting anytime. We got 26 people watching.
That's cool.
Let's see. Deb is in Dallas, Fort Worth. So Dallas, Fort Worth is my brother's over in Tyler. That's not too far away.
You're about 95 miles away. They've got three restaurants right there in the Dallas Fort Worth area. That's not so far out of the way that we couldn't make that trip. Next time we're down there in Tyler.
Let's see. Gary Johnson is doing okay. That's good to hear. Okay, Daniel Lamper asks, "What's the biggest crane I've operated?" Let's see. I've played around in the 2250. I'd have to look up the specs on it. See exactly what that is. Yeah, you got to kill that. Just hang it up. And demonetized. Turn your volume all the way down, please. Let's see. Biggest hydros, 240 ton. Elite Earthworks, how are you doing, Brandon? Wayne Tharp is the private jet. Yeah, no, I don't have a private jet. Victor the Ripper, Houston, Texas. It's a 3-year apprenticeship. So if you're in Houston, yeah, that marketplace down there is fairly saturated, I think. I don't know what the crane business is like, but I know they use a lot of crane hands. Kenny Mysack, he's always interested in cooking and smoking meat. Got a homemade smoker that holds 900 pounds of meat in the Appalachian Mountains.
Grant, you make mine look little. Mine will hold about 600 pounds of pork butts at one time. I've never done that many. I've done about 450 pounds at a time. But, caring for that meat afterward, you got to have a lot of refrigeration. So I don't know how you do it. You must have a walk-in. But my hat's off to you, partner. Doing 900 pounds of meat at one time. That's a load.
Noltec, 3 to 5 years in the Northeast for crane, from cranes to monkey to operator, from monkey to operator. That's funny. Dickard with Dave is telling everybody to hit that like button. So yeah, if you guys wouldn't mind doing that, that'd be fantastic. Dickard with Dave, good song though. It is a good song, but unfortunately now with that song on there, they're probably going to hit me with a copyright strike on this, and I'm going to have to delete it. Jerome Baker, answer that phone. Adam Gibson, CCR.
Yeah, I'm. That's the music I grew up with.
Paul Warner, Pops, does the type of wood change the flavor?
It will. It will make a difference in the flavor, and that's why whenever I'm pulling smoke into the meat, I always stick with hickory unless I throw a little bit of cherry in behind it, like I say, to keep a hot fire in the wintertime. But if I throw oak in, it's when I've got my meat already panned up and covered to where I'm not putting smoke into the meat anymore.
So let's see. Had people smoking bologna.
I've done bologna.
Brant St. Clair says, yes, Pops, I have a walk-in. Yeah, he's smoking on a big scale then.
Yeah. You're making some serious coins with that. I know.
Dickard with Dave, that was less than 10 seconds, so I get fair use on that. That'd be awesome. My dad has not had a heart attack. Gary Johnson on here had a heart attack not too long ago. Wayne Tharp asks, are you selling your own sauces, rubs, and seasoning?
I have sauce recipes. I have not sold them. I looked into selling rubs and seasonings, and the outfit that was going to blend them for me was charging me retail and giving me no profit margin. So no, I'm not selling my sauces, rubs, and seasonings. Yeah. But I do a YouTube channel. I'm going to give them to you on the channel.
There you go.
I'll give you the recipes, the formulations they call them.
Richard Savalio, what's up, guys? Just stop by real quick before you go to a wedding. Hey, thanks for stopping in, Rich. Jerome Baker, who's my guest? My guest is my dad.
My name's Mark. How you doing, Jerome?
Everybody's been calling him Pops, so I guess you could just roll with that.
I'll go with Pops. As long as it's not anything that'll get somebody's mouth soaped out, I'm good with it.
As long as it's less than 10 seconds. I don't know if that was less than 10 seconds or not, though. We're going to have to go back and see. Brent St. Clair, he doesn't make any coin off of it. He does it for the community. Jay Chris Beck. Hey, Jay, how are you doing? Or Chris. I don't know which one you go by. We can call you Beck. Oh, Noltec. Old Applewood. They're cutting down orchards up here for real estate. It's a dang crying shame.
Where's that at, up in Iowa?
I don't know where he's at. Noltec. Where'd you say you were at, Noltec? Adam Gibson. Richard Savalio. Tell the person to run. Don't say I do at the wedding. Wayne Thorpe can't beat free recipes. And I can tell you, you guys have seen me in my videos. I didn't get the physique I've got because I ate terrible as a kid. And my theory is the more I weigh, the safer the crane is because it technically has more counterweight in it. Ball owner. Sorry, Mark. Would you prefer Pops?
Doesn't matter.
Victor the Ripper, who is a member of Local 317. Oh, he retracted that. Actually, it's one of my subscribers, his channel name, and you need to go check it out. It's Turk 317. He's a lineman, and he rides to work on the bottom of a helicopter. Noltex in New Hampshire. Dalton Feeks, yeah, we've got some up or some here too that are tearing up our ash trees. The emerald ash borer.
Yeah, it just showed up as far as an article in the paper this morning.
Yeah, 11 more counties I think have it. Jerome Baker, enjoy the time with your parents. His are both gone. We do get together fairly regularly, and it's always fun. Well, most of the time. Sometimes I end up fixing stuff, but that's okay.
Yeah, he's my ace mechanic. He saved us a lot of money over the years, turning wrenches for me. Okay,
Victor K asks, what's Pop's YouTube channel called? He actually hasn't made one yet, and we were kind of brainstorming some ideas on it. And the name of their company is Smokin' Hogs Barbecue and Catering. So let's see how creative the 27 people that are watching are, and let's throw out some channel names using Smokin' Hogs Barbecue and Catering. I'll let you guys in on the first floor. You guys can be part of his development team for making his YouTube channel. So one of the things he was talking about was down home cooking with Smokin' Hogs. What do you guys think?
I just don't want to make the name of the channel too long, but I'd like to get Smokin' Hogs in there.
So we'll leave that up to you guys. Kind of like this whole area that I built down here for my crane stuff. One of my subscribers named it the Crane Cave, and it worked out.
Pops Rub and Grub, smoking at the Pops, smoking pigs.
So let's see, just make it Smokin' Hogs. That's pretty straightforward, Brandon.
Yeah, we could do that too.
Brandon, he started off as a pretty small channel not all that long ago, and he's really growing. Does a lot of dirt work. So Elite Earthworks LLC is one you guys also need to go check out. You've heard me say it over and over again, but he does some pretty amazing stuff with a mini excavator and a little skid loader and a single axle dump truck. He's just down there in Joplin.
Yeah. Victor the Ripper, you know that pork is the fastest absorbing protein before even whey powder. I did not know that, Victor. I appreciate that input.
Pop Smokin' Hogs Barbecue, Pop Smokin' Pigs, Pop Smokin' Hogs Cooking. Victor the Ripper sounds kind of gay. Smokin' Hogs. Yeah, I mean, yeah. He spells it H-A-W-G. Short and sweet. Victor the Ripper, he likes smoking swine. Smokin' Hogs works. Smoking with Pops. Boar's Nest. Wild Hogs. Wild. I knew you guys would come through. All you got to do is throw a question out to 26 people, and they will blow you up with suggestions. And it's great. I love the audience interaction.
I appreciate it, man. Well, once I get this up and going, we will definitely get with you guys and let you know where to tune in on us. One of the first things I'm going to put out there, though, is my dry rub. One of the things that I was going to market it as is Smoking Hogs Dry Rub. Will stick to your ribs and your butts.
Wild Smoking Piggies. Chris is on a roll. Brant St. Clair To the Top Barbecue. And then the shirts should just have the crane marked out with a big X and a pig over the top of it. Pops, paint the picture. We have the hog roast here in UK. How do you deliver the smoked meats?
Well, we have a vending trailer that we vend out of. It's a old utility trailer that Jimmy and his two brothers helped me switch over into a regular vending trailer. It's got a triple sink, a full size refrigerator freezer, 3 warming boxes, 2 microwaves, 2 steam tables, cooler for beverages, full size stove and oven, all in a 7x17 vending trailer. And then we vent right out the back doors. And when we built it, we had no clue it was going to turn into what it's turned into. It was going to be a retirement hobby, and it's turned into a full-blown business.
Kind of like my YouTube channel. So the way he's delivering that stuff, though, is in Cambros. They're like big Cambro coolers, and that's how they keep it warm. Actually, it keeps it hot. And then if it's a big event, don't you take the smoker with you?
Yeah, on a big event, we drag the smoker around with us. We've got 2 trucks, and anything big, like if I'm cooking for 200 or more, then I'll take that smoker with us and fire it up. As far as the Smoking Hog shirt goes, my daughter-in-law Betsy, she's a graphic artist, and she designed the Smoking Hog shirt and hat,
and the To the Top Crane logo. So yeah, my sister-in-law did the logo, did his logo. You have it on the back too.
Yeah.
If you can, I don't know, you're gonna have to spin a little further.
Let's see if I can make me get up out of my chair. How's that coming through on the camera?
That looks good.
Okay.
Careful.
Break my neck.
It's a small space for 2 big fellas. Let's see.
Can't see the hat. How's that for you?
Jerome Baker.
And if we get Jimmy to take off his hat,
Nope.
then you'll see we have the same hairstylist.
Jerome Baker says pop smoking butts. J. Chris Beck, Hog Heaven. Victor the Ripper, can't see the hat though. Yeah, we already covered that. Kicking around some hogs. Dalton Feeks is getting hungry right now. Time to go get some pulled pork. If you were nearby, we could hook you up. Dickard with Dave loves the hat logo.
Yeah, Betsy designed that for me too.
Yep.
And she designed all the logos for my smoker and vending trailer.
I don't have any pictures of that. J. Chris Beck, Hogs Wild. We're still getting some good ones. To the Top Hog Smoke. Dalton Feeks lives in Sioux Falls.
Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Wasn't there Sioux Falls, Iowa also?
That's Sioux City.
Sioux City.
I don't know if you guys would be
Paul
able.
Wollner, hey Jimmy, is your hair in the wrong place too? No, it's right here. All right.
Now you tell me. See how he's got such a high forehead? That's a sign of great intelligence.
It's crazy.
Mine goes a little higher though.
It's crazy how it quits growing up here and starts coming out the bottom. I don't get that.
I don't know if you guys will be able to pick up a picture of this off.
Jerome Baker, grass won't grow on a rock.
I don't know if I hold this picture of the smoker up to the camera, if it'll pick it up.
It will.
Very
You just
well or
gotta.
not.
You might have to point to it. So let's see if we can get it to focus. Oh, I just screwed up. All right, come on. I'll let you fix it. Deb, too. We both look good. I won't tell my mom or my wife you said that, but it boosts our self-esteem. Come on, camera. It's wanting to. There it goes. Victor the Ripper. Okay, I'm trying to get. I need to get caught up on comments here.
Yeah, here's some butts. Not wanting to focus.
It's getting the gist of it. Yeah, they got it. That's good. You can see it there. Jerome Baker says it's a good-looking rig. Who prepares the pig? He buys the pork butts in like truckloads at a time. Videos by Al. How are you doing, Videos by Al? You're not rolling in late. We're still talking. Wayne Tharp wants to know how big of groups have you catered. So what's the biggest group you've catered?
1,000.
So 1,000 people. Fed 1,000 people.
It took a lot of planning. And it's a very good help. But yeah, 1,000.
Yeah, Dicker Dave says you'll have to get a YouTube logo up next to the Facebook one on the smoker.
Yep. Yep. I hadn't thought about that.
So yeah, this is something that he's just been talking about for the, I don't know, last month or so. And I'm going to see about helping him get it started and get it going. That's why this isn't my normal scheduled live stream. I'm supposed to be doing my normal live stream next Sunday, and I will. But the reason for this live stream was to get your guys' feedback on him setting that channel up. And Victor the Ripper, never been any food poisoning, but they're insured just in case you end up pooping through a screen door. The biggest thing with food poisoning is keeping track of what you're doing with everything. As long as you maintain everything at the right temperatures and exercise the correct preparations, you don't have to worry about that.
Well, one of the things, you got to keep it up over 140 degrees. If you drop down below 140 degrees, you got to get it right back up, or you got to get it down to 40 degrees.
Jeff Skews, what kind of question is that? That's what he's. I think he's poking a little bit at Victor the Ripper.
Haven't made anybody else sick yet, or haven't made anybody sick yet. But Jeff Skews is saying smoking hogs break out the ribs. Here's another close-up photo for you to see if this does you any good.
Probably
I don't know if it's going to focus any better than that or not.
Yeah, you were getting it too
there we
close.
Go. So as you can tell, I do pan my ribs after a few hours of smoke. I pan them and cover them up. That way I keep them from getting too smoky and getting bitter, but they retain the moisture.
So Jerome Baker, set him up on a channel. It doesn't take much to entertain us. My channel is proof of that. Let's see. That's a good point that you're making there. Smoking hogs does not bring up stuff starting with smoking, so you would be good with that getting you on a search. True story. So
cool.
That needs to be the first word in your channel name.
Or Chris Beck is saying that he used to work in an adult senior center, and we fed 150 peeps a day.
1,500 peeps a day.
Yeah, 1,500 peeps a day. Partner.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah, my hat's off to you. I don't want to work that hard. I'm too old for that stuff.
Making me hungry. Smoking hogs on wheels. Pizza guy just left.
Hey, I got a story for you too. I hope you guys get a kick out of this. But after venting all day or smoking all day, there's times the wife and I will throw a frozen pizza in the oven. That'll be our supper. And sometimes we'll throw a second one in so that we can have leftover frozen pizza the next night, because we know we're going to be too beat to do any cooking. So we'll have leftover frozen pizza the second night.
Brant St. Clair still sticking with To the Top Barbecue. Deb found you pretty easy on a Yahoo web search.
Now, we're not the ones in Winnipeg, Manitoba. We're the ones in Union Star, Missouri.
Let's see. Victor the Ripper, is it a myth that pork gives you heart attacks, and also that if it isn't cooked right, it has worms? Way back in the day, you had an issue with worms.
It's called trichinosis. And trichinosis was a worm that the only way you could get it certified pork is to freeze it below 0 degrees for 3 weeks, and then you could eat it at a rare stage. And then the big thing was to cook it to well done in excess of 165 degrees in order to make sure that the trichinosis was out of it. But there has not been a confirmed case of trichinosis in the United States since the 1920s. And so now the USDA has approved pork being consumed at 145 degrees, which is a medium rare.
Deb too. Nope, she found your site. Cindy, I bet when I was coming up, our Boy Scout trip used volunteer on the local charities. Yeah, I don't like cooking that much. I'm glad he does, but I don't enjoy cooking that much. And his commercial kitchen is, like you said earlier, an 8x15 trailer.
It's actually 7x17, but yeah, about the same.
And it's a full-on inspected commercial kitchen.
Yeah, I'm inspected and licensed in 7 counties. The most I've ever been told, as far as a correction I needed to make, was before we ever took the show on the road, my first inspector told me that I needed to put a paper towel dispenser up next to my hand washing sink. And so I did that. And ever since then, knock on wood, that's the only kick that I've had out of all the inspections I've done over the course of the last 3 years. One of the counties that I got inspected in, they went through the trailer for 2 hours and found nothing wrong. So I'm real proud of that.
I guess that means we did something right.
As far as do I hire people to do the cooking as well? No, I don't. I've had a few people give me a hand at times on some heavy duty vends and that 1,000 person catering gig. I had a helper on the smoker, but no, I do the cooking. Wife does the potato salad, but aside from that, I do all the cooking.
So we've been going for about 25 minutes. What do you guys? Well, actually, it's been longer than that because we started at about 5:50 Central Time. So how long do you guys want to run this thing? There's 27 of you. I will leave that up to you guys. Victor the Ripper, how much is a pound? 16 ounces is a pound.
How much do I charge for a pound of pulled pork?
Oh, gotcha. Oh, Warner, why do you not have a national standard? A national standard as far as like inspection, or because if I'm not mistaken, you have to be licensed and inspected in each county you're going to work in Missouri.
In the state of Missouri, yeah. Every little podunk county, you've got to have license. You've got to have a separate inspection. And when you go to Kansas, you've got 1 license and 1 inspection, good for the whole state. But in Missouri, everybody's got to hit the cash register on you. Everybody wants to go through your stuff, which that's fine. I've got nothing to hide. I run a clean kitchen. So my wife, she does a great job of keeping it all really, really nice.
So Victor the Ripper, he said, hey, yes, how much do you charge? Pork should be cheap. What about $10?
I do charge, that's exactly what I charge. Finished product pulled pork is $10 a pound.
West Coast Alex is in the house. How are you doing, Alex? How's your eye? Alex took a shot to the eye with a steel choker. He's a logger out on the West Coast, out in the mountains, and he took a choker to the eye. Had it all swollen up and actually swollen shut. Josh Wellner's got to put the kids to bed. I think last time when I was on one of my other live streams, Josh had to put his kids to bed, and instead of going in and like making sure they were asleep, he bribed them with toys and came right back to my live stream. Chris says it's not the meat that costs so much; it's the smoking process that costs money, and there's a lot. It's labor intensive.
Well, yeah. By the time you go through cutting and splitting and stacking all the hickory wood, and by the time you smoke the meat, and you know, let's say I start out with a 8-pound butt, and I trim the fat cap off of it before I put it in the smoker, and then I rub it down with olive oil, and then I rub it down with a dry rub, let it sit overnight, and then I put it in the smoker, and I'll lose about 25% of the weight going into the smoker, coming out of the smoker. And then after I pull the bone and I chop the meat, and not real coarse or real fine. I chop it about 1.5 inches, 2 inches, and it's pretty much falling apart. And then I re-season it, let it set overnight, and I degrease it again. So I mean, it's labor intensive. It takes 3 days for me to process pulled pork. So there's a lot of labor goes into it.
Let's see, Alex said his eyes almost good. That's good. Josh Wellner, yes, I did. Don't tell my wife about the bribing his kids to go to sleep. Yeah, the U.S. really isn't fond of national standards. That's a fact. That is a fact. Someone asked, let's see, where was it at? What did Dad do before barbecue?
I've done a lot of things to earn my money. I've obviously been a meat cutter early on, and that's something that once you, like riding a bike, once you know how, you don't forget it. And it doesn't take you long to pick a knife back up and get as good as you once were. Also sold cars. I've been in collections for about 10 years. Done a lot of things, but even worked in the newspaper business for a few years. But I know that everything that I've done in order to earn my money prepared me for this little trip. I think that God's really been good to us and really blessed us in the business sense and also in our family. My wife and I have been God blessed. We really have. Got 3 great sons. They married 3 great women, and I've got 7 fantastic grandkids. And he's really led me down the right path. Every aspect of this business. Whenever I needed butts to go on sale, they went on sale. Whenever I needed loins to go on sale, boy, here came an ad. So yeah, I've really been taken care of in that regard.
Woofy W. I'll have to watch the replay. All this barbecue talk is making me hungry as all get out. And you guys can, Wade got to eat some of my dad's cooking, because when I went down there to meet Wade, I took 7 pounds of pulled pork with me, which was way too much for, what was there, 7 of us, and then some beans. And Wade was tearing it up.
Yeah, one of the things we do is we make our own Canadian bacon, and the ends and pieces of the Canadian bacon, I dice that up and put it in the beans, along with a lot of other things, a lot of love. Then I put it in the smoker and smoke the beans.
Victor the Ripper. Oh, Chris asked, do you like Texas Roadhouse?
I like Texas Roadhouse prime rib. I think they do a good job on their prime rib. Sometimes, one of the things that the wife and I have found out is that the more we've gotten into this business, the more we eat out. Yeah, Roadhouse got a heck of a prime rib.
I like Roadhouse's peanuts and their bread. And their whiskey's not bad. But I don't order steak when I go out to eat. I cook steak at home. I refuse to order a steak off a menu, because one, when I buy KC strip, and some people call them New York strip, I buy the whole loin and cut my own steaks about 2 inches thick. And you're not going to get that in a restaurant for less than $50 probably.
I see Sandy saying yum pork and beans.
Yeah.
We do the pit smoked beans that are barbecued beans. And then also we make pork hocks. I don't know if anybody out there is familiar with pork hocks. It's the cut right above the foot, right below the ham. And I cure them and smoke them. And boy, they make a heck of a pot of ham and beans, which is totally different than the pork and beans that the pit smoked beans. But we don't market those ham and beans. But one of the things that we do in the wintertime is homemade beef and noodles. And we sell those. We make 8 gallons of homemade beef and noodles whenever we're making them.
So I'm sure there'll be some of that on the channel. Ham hock here in the South. That's what we call it here in Missouri too.
Yeah, you take the ham hocks and greens. I don't know what kind of greens you put them in. Boy, I'll tell you what, those things rock. Collard greens, kale, mustard greens, spinach. Dice up some onions, throw in with it, and you can make a meal off that. Also, I'm going to be smoking tomorrow. I've got some pork bellies that I've got cured out. I'm going to smoke hocks and bacon tomorrow.
Jeff Hughes, he'll be out for the beef and noodles. And it's not
it'll be this fall.
It's not just your average beef and noodles. It's homemade noodles.
I roll them out. I got a marble rolling pin. I roll them out with a marble rolling pin, and wife boils them up on the stove.
Collard greens. Do we eat poke salad? Poke
salad
or poke salad?
I've never had poke salad. I don't know, where do you get the poke?
I can tell you one of the things. First time I ever had fried green tomatoes was at Wade's place. I had never had one, and he about fell over when he found that out. And I tell you what, they are good. I don't know who's been hiding them from me, but fried green tomatoes are good. And this is the cool thing about my channel that I love. We'll get on a live stream, and sometimes we're talking about trucks. Sometimes we're talking about food, and everybody just rolls with it.
Victor the Ripper talking about George Foreman selling $100 steak. What in the heck kind of steak is he selling for $100?
Well,
probably Kobe beef,
probably
tenderloin.
Probably fake Kobe beef. The only place you can get real Kobe beef is Kobe, Japan. And it's more than $100 a steak.
Pickle hog's feet are good too. I've never had. I know where that hoof's been, and I've just never been able to get past that thought to have pickled pig's feet.
Do we ever talk about rare Pokemon cards? We've never talked about Pokemon cards, and here's probably why. I don't know anything about Pokemon, so we're probably not going to talk about Pokemon cards. Look,
the Wagyu beef and Kobe.
Oh, yeah, I bet that's expensive. I said poke salad is good stuff. Don't know what the scientific name for the plant is.
Well, we'll have to Google it. Google knows everything.
John Warren, how are you doing, John? No relation.
Okay.
I've already been down that path. He's up in Iowa. John Warren's from up in Iowa. $145 for a 16-ounce steak.
I think I could chew a little better than that for $145.
For $145, I'm going to buy the cow, and it's going to keep producing steaks.
For $145, I'll buy a couple cases of butts and sell them.
John Warren's Chicago bound. And the big car, as Wade would call it. That's what he calls semi-trucks, is big cars.
Yeah.
But they fly
Sandy says, but they fly it in. That for $145 a pound, they ought to fly themselves in.
Yeah, no kidding.
They ought to grow wings and fly.
I didn't know that. Chris said the fried green tomatoes are good. Did you know that they originated because at the end of the season there'd be green tomatoes left on the plants that won't ripen? So,
well, here's the trick for you, Chris. if you take those green tomatoes and put them in brown paper grocery sacks and let them sit, then just pull out the ripe ones every few days, and you'll have green tomatoes, or you'll have those green tomatoes ripen up. You'll have ripe tomatoes on your kitchen table for Thanksgiving, and maybe even as late as Christmas.
Yeah, or you can just slice the green tomatoes, bread them, and fry them and eat them because they're good.
I guess you could do that too.
Jerome Baker, for 4 of those steaks, you can buy half a beef. True story. Wade drives a bird. He don't know a thing about a big car. Well, with all this talk of food, I've got to go light my grill. So,
yeah, I'm gonna eat some of my son's cooking tonight. See how he does.
Thanks everybody for all the input and the encouragement. Once we get this thing started for him, you guys, I'm sure we'll hear the channel name. We'll probably mull it over dinner tonight and see what we come up with. But yeah, I appreciate everybody jumping in and throwing in your 2 cents and giving us the input on it.
Yeah, I appreciate all the feedback as far as the name suggestions and all. We'll let you know what we come up with.
So yeah, I'm not sure how long it'll take. He's got a lot of video editing to learn. Just ordered a camera. It'll be here Wednesday or before. And
then next Friday and Saturday we're booked up. We're doing vending gigs both days where we're going to probably go through 300 to 400 pounds of pulled pork. And so I got some serious cooking to do first part of the week.
So John Warren asked who's with me. John, that's my dad. Mark, everybody's been calling him Pops. So yeah, we're gonna shut this thing down. I'll be up for my regular live stream next Sunday at 6 p.m. Central. So be thinking of your crane questions, and I mean, I guess whatever you guys want to talk about, we'll roll with it. And then once we get his channel up and going, then we will have that out there. So again, thanks everybody for watching my content, being part of my channel, subscribing. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button. Tell all your friends. You guys are the reason why my channel is growing, and it's growing at an astounding rate. It blows my mind. And like I always say, you guys humble me with how much you guys are engaged in my content. So I don't know what we got coming up for crane work next week. What I miss?
Where am I going to be hijacked to? Chris, where are you at? I tell you, I'm not cheap, but I could be had for a couple of days. Just depends on where you're going to take me.
Yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm going to shut this down in about 3 seconds. So thanks again. To the Top Crane is out.